All right, back on the rack today, our LS Swap C10 project. So, starting on it, got all our parts lined out, some stuff over here. In a previous video, this was all together, had a 396 and a turbo 350 in it, not running, been sitting for a very long time, so pulled the front clip, sold the 396, sold the transmission. That'll pay for a good amount of the project. We got the fuel tank pulled out, seat unbolted. We've got the bed pulled off. Got the fuel tank getting set up to go in it. We got our 5.3 LS 4L 60E. I actually forget what year. I think this is a 2000 and, let's see. Doesn't say. I think this is an 05. Might be a little bit older, 02 to 05. So junkyard motor. Customer supplied that. We went through, steam washed everything, got it fairly clean, and it's about it. So I'm going to start by stripping everything out of the way that I don't need. So we've got the old throttle cable here. Pretty much any vacuum can come out. I don't think there's any vacuum inside here that I need. Strip off the old grounds. We'll go with new grounds. Not sure. I guess this is all for air, heater and air conditioner. Either way, we'll rerun this stuff once we get the motor back up and running. So if heater or whatever, well, obviously not air conditioner, but if the heater doesn't adjust, we'll have to run some new vacuum lines. We'll get rid of all the wiring that I don't want to see in here. Get rid of the shift cable or the shift linkage. We're going to leave all the brakes alone. Customer's not going to do any brake conversion at this time. It's got discs up front, drums in the rear, but no power brakes. We can do that later if he needs it. And then I just got to figure out, I think these are headlight relays. I'm not super familiar with the C10s. But we've got some wires here, so oil pressure, all that stuff. So I'm just going to strip out anything that's the motor. So I think this harness here I keep, that's headlights. And I think this harness here gets deleted. I think this is all motor and drivetrain, and this is headlights and everything like that. Either way, I'll just unbolt this, get this out of the way for now, and go from there. So, give you a look at my parts. So, a lot of this stuff is stuff I keep on the shelf, but we've got a fuel pickup, fuel pump, everything in there, breathers. Low car, learned my lesson on that. So this is a cable-driven shift linkage. I learned my lesson on trying to do the mechanical ones because those are a pain in the ass. So I go with those every time now. I think they're like 200 bucks. Hopefully I got the right wiring harness for this. So I don't know if that's a 4L80 or not, but oil pan gasket. Not sure if you need to replace the oil pan, but this is one specific to putting in this C10, and I don't want to fight with any cross members or anything like that. We've got a BIM interface to interface the OBD2 with the gauge set. We've got a brake switch. Let's see. Oh yeah, underneath so a new brake switch to unlock the torque converter while you brake. GM, OEM oxygen sensors. I go with So drive-by-wire PCM, I go with BP Automotive on all my wiring. Learned my lesson on that one, any of the cheap eBay stuff. We got a new Grant steering wheel going in for them. Fuel cinder unit, the other one was a pickup. Nice little Chevy emblem. 4L60E. Okay, so I've got the right wiring harness. So BP Automotive. Showstopper braided loom. Hopefully I'll have to check the PCM, but should have the right PCM. Low car transmission dipstick, flexible, too much of a pain in the ass to do the rigid ones. I always do drive-by-wire, a lot easier, a lot cleaner. We'll just have to build a bracket for that. I have from Summit Racing. Nope, now they're already broke. LS swap motor mounts. I think these are specific to C10. So we'll start messing with those. I think those work. I'll have to mess with those. I think those work with the factory mounts on that side. We have a generic fabricated transmission cross member with the hump so I can have the exhaust flow through there without hanging down. We've got a Gen, what are these called? Gen 2 or something. Map sensor. Not sure if, I'll have to see what this one's to, but that was in my swap stuff. Another oxygen sensor. And then I've got an air aid kit for the intake. There's a bunch more of the intake stuff up there. And we've got the Dakota digital gauge set. That way, with very few connections, I can have all the gauges that I need very, very simply. So that's about it for this guy. Not sure what else I have to strip off. So Tanks ink, been ordering from them. Pretty expensive, but seems to be worth it to me. I gotta strip this old gauge cluster off. The reason we're changing the steering wheel, super sticky. It's been heat roasted. Other than that, pretty clean truck. He'll need a seat eventually. I'm sure the seat's not great shape under there, so he'll probably come back for some upholstery stuff. So everything else is generic stuff. I keep extra exhaust manifolds, intake pipe. I've got an exhaust machine. But this is pretty much your starter kit for LS stuff. Now this is the higher end stuff, low car, BP Automotive, Dakota digital gauges. This saves a lot of labor. Most of the money spent on parts, and I should be able to knock this out. So, we'll see how much time it takes. I'm gonna try to get the engine and everything set in today. Check the motor mounts out, transmission cross member. See if I can get the fuel tank in and just start piecing things together. All right, end of day number 1. I'm gonna call it quits. It's probably 7:30 at night, 8 o'clock, something like that. So show you what I got done, and yeah, made a few little mistakes here and there, but just parts ordering mistakes, not a big deal. All right, so we got the motor sitting in there. Took off the exhaust manifolds, sandblasted those down. In my cabinet, I still have the shields in there to sandblast. Not sure if they're going to work yet, but that one looks pretty good. We're going to see if these things clear. I've got a bunch of LS manifolds. At one point, I went to the junkyard and I got every different exhaust manifold for an LS that I can find. So motor's a little bit crooked in there because it's not on motor mounts. Because I thought these were to it, and this is square body LS swap. So had to order a new set of motor mounts. Other than that, I got the oil pan, and yes, it's sitting on the oil pan right now. Probably not the best idea, but I got the oil pan installed. It's looking pretty good. I don't think it's necessary to do an oil pan on one of these because I don't know how far down that thing stuck, but not a big deal. I didn't want to screw around and have that thing dropping down too far. Plus, it has the oil level sensor. Those things always leak. What else? Got most everything. That's about it out here. I actually got the whole wiring harness routed. Pretty much just laying where it's going to go. This thing had a hole in the firewall for a clutch. Had to grind that out a little bit. Fed the wiring harness through there. Transmission cross members just sitting there. Nothing with it yet until I get motor mounts in. So I bought some new motor mounts that will replace, that one's a fabricated one that somebody messed with, but that's the original one. So I got some new motor mounts that'll replace the whole thing and hopefully be adjustable, get it where it's gonna go. I got the, that's why I love BP Automotive. So map sensor, there's one more. So throttle body, drive-by wire. This is drive-by cable, so I got to buy another one of these because I do not like drive-by cable. So that's where it's going to go. It's about all I got done out here. Remove the seat. And on one vehicle, you can check out my other video on a Bel Air. I mounted everything up over here. There is the little vents over here, so no place to mount it over here. I don't want to mount anything behind the dash to where I have to take out the dash, plus there's no room. I know a popular method is to run the wiring and mount the computer and everything over here and build a kick panel that you can fold back the carpet, remove the kick panel, and have access to the computer and yada, yada, yada. But on this old one, I've got a throttle pedal controller, 0203 LS. Massive freaking computer compared to like the newer computers. So, let me get my flashlight that I just flopped out of here. So, clutch hole was right there behind here. We routed the harness through there, built a box over it to mount the drive-by wire fuel pedal. Hopefully I was recording that. Mounted these little zip tie tabs. And the wiring harness. So we'll go right here, get zip tied down to the floor. That one will go up over here. Everything will get zip tied right down here beside the transmission tunnel. Right up under the seat. So we'll mount the computer, throttle, or the pedal controller. And then we'll mount the fuse block. See if I can get this off with one hand. With the relays right in here. And that way that seat comes up over and you'll have access to all your fuses and relays right underneath the seat. If you ever need to do anything under here, it's real easy to pull the seat. I got the steering wheel on. And what else? Oh, we got the fuel tank in. So tank sink, very simple. Slide it up on the bottom, that way it'll drop out. We put so you have two places to put your filler, either right here or in the center of the bed. I'm gonna put it over here in the back corner. I didn't realize they don't come with the piece with the cap that's gonna go through the bed, so I had to order one of those. Got our fuel pump ran, our vent ran. So I need to make a wiring harness to go from the sender over to this, and I'll have a connector here. And then the rest of the connector will go up underneath the dash. Got to figure all that out still. Other than that, that's all done. Ordered all my fuel lines. I had a kit, Fragola kit, to make all the fuel lines. Apparently that got walked off with at some point. But so I ordered a new Fragola kit. And dash. I think I videoed it earlier today. It just had the 3 gauges. The bezel does not fit. So I had to order a new bezel from Summit, from Dakota Digital. And that way this thing will drop right into the bezel and fit right in there. What else we got going here? It's about it so far. So we'll have fan relay we'll get rid of. Switched ignition we can run up. So I'm going to have to build a harness to go back the other direction. And then just figure out maybe how to pad this or whatever. Just keep this from... I don't think it'll get harmed really. Indicator lamp will keep. Let's see. I think most of this is going away. I don't know what stop lamp control is. But these things also have a fuel pump control, which should be this gray wire. And then I'll have to do a separate ground, but that'll go straight to the fuel pump. And then the, let me see where my other pieces are. I don't know where things go. Let's see. Is that it? So we got BIM controller, Dakota Digital, OBD interface, and that'll give me all the signal for my gauges. And then we've got the this system here, so I won't need much. I need to ask them why. I'm not too worried about it, but the BP Automotive did not come with the oil pressure sending switch. But Dakota Digital did come with an aftermarket one. So I'll just run it up into here and get my oil pressure signal away from the OBD2 system. It'll just be a analog gauge or whatever, our analog system. And I've got a few wires to run into here, and that's about it on this guy. I don't need speed. I can get that off the computer. I don't need water. I can get that off the computer. So I have to run fuel, oil, and possibly left and right blinker. If I wanted to shift this manually, I believe you can bring the shifter right into this to switch gears on the shift lever like you do on a Duramax or something. Probably not going to bring the dim lights up here. We'll bring the check engine light up in here. That'll give him all the gauges that he needs. So, that's about it. Waiting on motor mounts. We'll get those in. I'll do another weekend. Next weekend, we'll try to get motor mounts in, transmission cross member, make sure our exhaust manifolds are going to work, and start plumbing in power steering and everything, probably before I ever even put the front end in. And see how that goes. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you can, if you want to. I'd really appreciate it. I'm trying to get to that 1,000 subscriber mark to see if YouTube will still pay anything. That would be really cool to get paid for some of these projects, a little bit of supplemental income, and that way I can continue to bring you guys better projects. And this is pretty generic. We've got a couple other projects that you will not find anywhere else on YouTube. So check out my channel and like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.